Good day, everyone. Welcome to our virtual class in Bar 211, Human Resource Management. In the previous lesson, we tackled the process of recruitment. Today, we're going to discuss the alternatives to recruiting, selection, and placement. Alternatives to recruiting are a temporary way of hiring people for the job position with a view to saving costs incurred in recruiting process and meet the short-term demand for increased work volume. This could be outsourcing, overtime, or temporary help. Ang company class in this way will gonna choose not to go to the recruiting process for them to save cost. No? And others are, mas dali man pud good magkuha og mga empleyado or magkuha someone to work for that specific work in these alternatives. Kasi nga, sa recruiting process, mag-formulate pa kag strategy, mag-search pa kag applicants, mag-screen pa kag applicants, and mag-maintain pa kag applicant pool. But in here, naa kay mga options na magpa-outsource na lang, magpa-overtime, or mag-ask og temporary help in other staffing agency para mas mapadali ang trabahoon. And mind you, these are only temporary if the work can just be done in a short period of time. First is the outsourcing. This refers to the practice of bringing an outside company or individual to perform specific parts of a contract or project. Example, Company A will going to outsource the task to Company B. Specifically, kung magpatrabaho si Company A o mga bookkeeping transaction kay Company B, or si Company A magpatrabaho o kay accounting firm o mga financial recordings. So, para mas makakonsentrate na lang si Company A sa iyang core function or mga daily activities sa business, iyan na lang ipatrabaho ang mga financial recordings kay accounting firm. So, that is the concept of outsourcing. Mas less ang gasto and dili na pod liable si Company A sa magtrabaho nga mga empleyado because na under na to siya kay Company B. Another alternative is overtime. This is used to avoid the incremental cost of recruiting and hiring additional employees for a short period of time. Under PD 442, overtime pay is an additional pay of 25% of the hourly rate for work done in excess of 8 hours. Usually, the employees work from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So, in excess of that 5 or 8 hours, no, malampas siya og 5 p.m., na entitled na siya og overtime pay for the companies who are allowing employees to have overtime. So, ang concept class is ang company pwede niyang ipatrabaho ang mga nabilin nga mga trabahoon sa isa ka empleyado which are already hired, which are already working in the company now after 5 p.m. Maghatag lang siya additional pay na 25% sa iyang hourly rate. In this way, mas less ang gasto kay tungod dili na siya manguha og mga additional employee pa. No, tagaan lang niya additional na 25% ang empleyado niya, then pwede na to ma-accomplish tong task na gipatrabaho sa company instead na mag-go siya atong recruiting process which again, mas taas and mas costly. The third alternative is the temporary help. This is possible when an employee is hired to do the job on a temporary basis. Or the concept of this is, ang company mag-add to siya sa staffing agency, mangayo siya or magkuha siya, magpatrabaho siya o specific task like during peak demands or pagkulang iyang mga empleyado, ang iyang mga regular employee nagbakasyon or nag-file og maternity leave, no, kay nabuntis, nag-file og maternity leave. So kulangan na siya karon og tao. So the company now will going to employ temporary help or an employee is working for a short period of time. Usually on the basis na mga busy ang company, naa sa rush period, na mga ginahabol nga kota, mga demand, let's like this one, peak season. Burn naman taron, hapit na ang December, no? Ting demand na pud sa mga products, no, mga pamalitunon, daghan kaayo, mag-panic buying na pud ta. Daghan og demands, no? But I don't know if that will still happen kasi we know that in today's time we are experiencing this challenges, no, this pandemic, but we hope na still we would have a Merry Christmas pa rin, di ba? But again, going back to our discussion, no, temporary help is employed during the time na peak season or busy ang company, kulang ang mga empleyado, and so on. So nag-ask o another employee, additional employee ang company, but not on a permanent basis, but short period of time lang. Pag mahuman na to siya nga trabahoon, then pwede na po niyang i-dismiss to siya nga empleyado. So those are the alternatives to recruiting. Another part of our lesson is writing a resume. Applying for a job can be tough and challenging. For applicants' point of view, they need to be at their best version, making sure that the company sees their abilities or skills before they get the job. While for the companies, they need to make sure that they have carefully scrutinized the applicant prior to acceptance of the position. In this way, both applicant and the company must cautious and the hiring process, thus making resume or curriculum vitae as a screening device. A resume is a simple, straight to the point document produced with a view to applying for a particular work. A curriculum vitae is a document that describes your qualifications, including but not limited to your profile, goals, skills, education, and professional experience. Resume writing is a critical task. Applicants often get confused about writing resumes. We do not know what to write in a resume or what not to write. To get the attention of the recruiting managers, you need to use terms to illustrate what you do best, because your resume is the first step in marketing yourself through your employer viewpoint. With respect to the design and format, bear in mind that the role and the organization where you apply. So, pag nagasulat kasi ta og resume, again, this is a critical tool since this is the first step, no, pag mag-market, pagbaligya sa inyong kaugalingon sa company niya inyong gi-applyan. So, kailangan daw i-highlight nimo imong profile, imong goals, imong skills, education, and professional experiences. Because pag kani nakita sa company nga imong applyan and they find it relevant to the position they are looking for, then you already have the plus points. Now, for you to do that, you need to know the different parts of the resume. These are name, address, and telephone number, job objective, education, skills, work experience, communication skills, and references. Let's have first the name, address, and telephone number. So, ang example, si Naily Tahon from Masagana Street, Barangay Maganda, Davao, with his contact number or with her contact number and email address. In writing a resume, you need to put the name, address, and telephone number at the upper part, no, of the document. Also, you need to use a formal email. Dili itong common nga, like nakabutang kikay@yahoo.com or ang uban na pay pogi ko, astig ko @yahoo.com. That is a no-no. No? Kailangan formal para maka-project po ta sa o good image o good impression sa ato ang applyan nga company. Another is the job objective. Job objective is very crucial because it informs the employer if there is a match between the job vacancy and what you can offer. Crucial siya in the sense nga ang imong ipanulat dire kailangan tugma sa unsa ang gipangita sa company. No? And at the same time, isulat po nimo diri unsa imong ma-offer sa company nga imong applyan. Like seeking a challenging job with a progressive organization that provides an opportunity to capitalize my skills and abilities in the field of human resource management. So, we would assume na ang company is looking for an employee under the human resource management. So, nag-ingon siya nga nangita siya og challenging job nga magamit daw niya iyang skills and abilities sa field sa human resource management. In this way, there is a match, no, on the job vacancy and what you can offer to the company. The third part is the education. So the example is from the University of Mindanao under the Bachelor of Science in Business Administration. Human Resource Management. So gi-apil pud niya iyahang grade which is 1.25. Also the coursework or yung mga major subject niya, compensation and benefits administration, training and development, performance appraisal, labor relation, career development, management research, organizational development. Also, included are honors and awards received like Magna Cum Laude, Regional Finalist, Metro Outstanding Employee, or Leadership Awardee at University of Mindanao. So, ibutang nimo imong mga good points no during your college days or mga good points nimo under your academic because these are educational attainment. You need also to list down no imong mga imuhang education in reverse chronological order. Kung gusto kang i-include ang imuhang primary, imuhang secondary, pwede na siya. But unahon nimo ang tertiary kani sa college and then sunod high school, then elementary. Reverse chronological order. The fourth part is the skills. So employers want to know what skills you have. So you need to highlight the main skills required of the position you are seeking. So in here, the example is actively involved in arranging and initiating leadership and research conferences. Responsibilities include massive information campaign to ensure maximum attendance, preparing and coordinating the different activities involved. Or kung unsa man ang skills nga imuhang ang naa sa imo. Usually common na ay expert in MS Word, expert in MS PowerPoint. Usually mo nang makita na ako sa kasagaran na siya may ginaabutang. But you may, no, if I may suggest, expound the skills that you have para mas makaroon na siya og big points or plus points sa company nga imuhang applyan. Then you have the work experience. So in here, the example is the applicant worked in San Miguel Corporation with the position of Human Resource Manager from 2015 to 2020. So all included are the duties like to prepare employee policy manual, update the company's job description, nag-initiate po siya training programs to enhance the skills of the employees. Also, the applicant revised and updated the performance appraisal methods and salary scale by means of conducting wage and salary survey. So, mas ma-highlight unsa ang imuhang gitrabaho sa imong previous company, then ma-relate siya pod sa imuhang position nga imong gi-applyan karon. Also, kung daghan ka og mga work experience, you need to write it in reverse chronological order. Same pa rin. Start from present to previous. So, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, and so on. The sixth part is the communication skill. Example is, reinforce and interpreted company procedures and policies to newly hired employees during orientation. If you have a good skill which you can actually express, pwede naman siya ibutang sa imuhang resume para plus points na po siya sa company or sa imuhang applyanan. So in here, ang applicant is nag-reinforce siya, nag-interpret siya sa mga procedures, policies during the orientation of the newly hired ng mga employees. Ibig sabihin siya ang nag-discuss sa mga newly hired employee. In that way, ma-assess sa company na naa kay skills sa pagpahiluna, sa pag-explain sa mga polisiya, mga procedures of the company. That's a good point already. Then, we have the references. Other applicants may just put the available upon request or dili nila i-include because taas na kaayo masyado ang ilahang resume or pwede po na usahay dili nila gina-appeal ang references kay dili naman siya kailangan sa company. But in here, an example is Angel Lu, a manager of big steel company. Also, you may include contact number but you need to make sure nga nangayo mo og permission sa mga pangatao nga inyong ibutang sa inyong references. The use of references are these people can actually vouch, pwede silang mahimo nimo na katuwang, whenever the company may ask background investigation. So, kani nga mga tao nga imong ibutang diri sa imong references or we call it character references can actually describe, can actually help you na mas ma-explain, mas mas ilaka sa company nga imuhang gi-applyan. But again, you need to make sure mangayo mong permission sa mga tao under your character references kay basi di sila kaila sa imuha or nakalimot sila sa imuha nya imo silang ibutang sa imong resume, mangambot na lang sila karon pagtawagan sila sa company nga imong gi-applyan. So I have several experiences pod sa mga estudyante nako before, but good thing about them is gina-PM ko nila, nag-send sila private message and ask me if they can ask for my contact number kay ibutang ko nila sa ilahang character references. So those are the parts of the resume which is very crucial in applying for a position. Also additional is na ang mga company is nag-ask po sila og mga application letter, no? So application letter gina-explain didto, no, unsa inyong mabuhat, unsa inyong gina-applyan for the company. After having the recruitment, next is the selection of employees. So employee selection is the process of putting right men on right job. It is a procedure of matching organizational requirements with the skills and qualifications of people. Employee selection is the process of choosing individuals who have relevant qualifications to fill jobs in an organization. Without qualified employees, an organization is in a poor position to succeed. That's under http www.whatishumanresource.com. So, very crucial po ning employee selection. Kay after nimo mangita og empleyado, after nimo mag-screen, after ka mag-interview, proseso sa ilang application, this is now the time na mag-choose na ka og right men for the right job. Because again, how would you know that this is the right job? Diba the first process was the conduct of job analysis. Ga-analyze na nimo ang job. So you have considered the job already correct, no, or right. Now you are going to look for the right person to do that job. So there are processes in selecting the person or employee or the applicant for the job. First is to define the job before hiring an employee. So, example is yung ginawa na natin nung una, yung job analysis, where this help you prepare the job description and job specification, which in turn will define the recruiting strategy. So, na-define na nato unsa ang job description, gi-describe na nato unsa ang job, nanapod tay specification or mga qualification nga mga minimum requirements nga kailangan ma-meet sa aplikante para makuha siya na empleyado sa company. That's the first step. Second is to review the application forms and credentials carefully. So, recently, I have explained the resume. So, isa to sa mga credential, no, na tan-awunon sa recruitment managers during the time of your application. Now, you need to make sure that you have reviewed this following. First is the employment gaps. So, the gaps include, please take note, the dates of employment listed only in years so that the actual day and month of the employment ending are masked. So, ang ibig sabihin, kung ang empleyado or ang aplikante na siya yung mga several work experiences na naagian, let's say, nagtrabaho na siya sa McDonald's, nagtrabaho na siya sa Jollibee, nagtrabaho na siya sa Shakey's. These are fast food industry. Then, nagtrabaho siya, let's say, sa McDonald's 1 month, nagtrabaho siya sa Jollibee 2 months, nagtrabaho siya sa Shakey's 3 months. So, very short ang period na time nga iyang na-connect, no? Or nagtrabaho siya diri nga mga company. Ma-question siya karon sa company nga nung paspas, no, na ang dates sa iyahang pagpanarbaho is dali lang kaayo. Questions like, anunon ba ka ni nga trabahante ha? Or unsa ka ang mga reasons nga nung paspas ang turnover niya or ang pag-ambak niya ani nga company to another. So you need to make sure that you need to list only in years nga under sa imong experience sa pagpanarbaho, dili itong mga months. Kay, as what I have said, crucial ni siya kay mapakapangutana na noon ang ang kampanya ani nganong ang mga dates are duol kaayo sa imuhang pagpanarbaho. Mura kag nitawag og job hopping, naga-job hop, nag-ambak-ambak ka og trabahoon. Another, you need to bear in mind the spelling, grammar, and punctuation. So, attention to details such as appropriate grammar, spelling, and punctuation set a candidate above the pack. So, failure to shine in these details on their resume and application should be noted by the employer. Sample, mali ang spelling sa what do you call this? Human resource manager, no? Sa imong asa gi-address imong application. Mali ang grammar sa pag-construct, no? Sa application letter. Mali ang punctuation nga gigamit, nagtuldok, nagkama, walay tuldok, no? Kani siya very particular pod ang mga companies ani because again the first step in marketing yourself is through resume, through your credential. So dili pa kanila masturya, dili pa kanila makit-an, no? So tan-awon nila maayo ang imong gi-present nga document. Now we have the evidences that a career has gone backwards or plateaued. So in a career that is progressing successfully, an applicant resume should show evidences that job titles and job descriptions have improved as the year progresses. So, kung naa kay mga different job experiences na pod nga mga nilabay, pwede mo to siyang ibutang, but you need to be careful sa posisyon. No? Let's say, nagtrabaho ka sa company 1 in 2015 to 2020 as clerk 1. O niya, nagtrabaho na po ka 2020 to 2025, clerk 1 lang gihapon and so on. Walay nag-increase sa imuhang trabaho. Nag-steady lang siya. Or, kunwari, nagtrabaho ka as manager, then sunod trabaho nimo kay nahimo kang supervisor, tapos nahimo kang clerk, nahimo kang staff, mas delikado, no? Ma-question jud ka because what happened to the employment history that you have? Nag-gone backwards siya. Or katong isa, nag-stagnant, nag-plateaued, no? Kasi nga, dapat progressive, no? Or progressing successfully ang imuhang trabaho for the company to know that you are a good applicant. Another is failure to follow directions. Failure to follow directions is not just a waste of time, but it can be harmful, especially to job applicants, because the employer might think the applicant does not have the ability to work in an organized and effective manner. Kunwari, during sa selection process na igipabuhat ang company or ang interviewer, ang recruitment manager niya, wala ni mo na follow directly, niingon siya nga kailangan magpasa ka ani ugma nga mga requirements. Human, sunod ugma pa ka ni pasa, waka nagpakabana. Failure to follow that would mean nga dili ka effective nga empleyado. Human, dili ka kato pa lang gani na simple instruction, dili nimo makuha. Unsa na lang kung kuhaon na kanila na maging part sa ilang company. Last is failing to include a cover letter. So submitting a high-quality cover letter with your resume can spell the difference. Failing to include one would entail failing to demonstrate how you would stand out from the rest of the applicants. So makalimot ka magbutang og cover letter or application letter. So kasi sa resume nakabutang dito ang mga details, mga informations like katong gi-explain ako ganina, mga name, address, and contact number, mga experiences nimo, mga educational attainment, character references, and so on. Pero sa cover letter kasi, here, may explain nimo how would you stand out from the rest of the applicant. Kasi mabutang nimo imuhang kaya buhaton sa company, mas ma-expound nimo siya because that is in a form of a letter which you can actually express yourself more. So those are the selection process under reviewing application form and credentials carefully. The third process is employment interview. So this provides the hiring supervisor the opportunity to review candidates' qualification and determine their suitability for the position. So I would assume that you know what interview is. So it's like mag-adto ka sa company, tawagan ka sa company, naka-schedule, and then i-ask kanila certain things like why do you apply for the certain position, why among all the companies kami imong gipili. So in here, maging ready ka. In the employee's perspective, you should know what the company is all about, na kay background information about the company. You should know what kind of position you are trying to apply, unsa ang mga trabahoon ana, and other relevant questions nga dapat imong pangandaman. Kasi on the part of the company also, sa employment interview, makita nila if you have the qualification, no? If you are the right person for the job, kay mailahan naman na sa pagtubag nimo. Just make sure na sa employee's perspective or kung kamo, applicant's perspective rather, dapat prepared mo ani, and you need to be honest in answering the question. This also provides candidates with a chance to learn about the position and its requirements and present information on their skills and experience. And on the part of the company na pod na perspective, diri niya makita kung karapat-dapat ba jud nakuhaon si employee, no? Kay matubag man niya tong mga pangutana ni recruiting manager. Another is the employment testing. So employers often use tests and other selection procedures to screen applicants for hiring and employees for promotion. So naay gina-deploy nga mga exam, ginapaansiran, usually essay, usually mga abstract, then like napoy cognitive test, mga physical ability test, sample job task, or mga personality test and English proficiency test where the applicant is being tested kung able ba siya, no? Na ba siya skills, na ba siya kakayanan to be part of the company. And the result of this would really matter kay it is a make or break, no? Kung makapasa ka ani, then you will get the job. If dili, then you will likely fail in the position you are trying to apply. Then, if mapasa ka sa employment testing, here comes the background investigation or the reference checking. So, diri na ang magamit ang katong sa gibutang niyo sa resume ganina, number 7, which is the references, no? So, tawagan na tong mga tao nga imong ipamutang didto for the company to know what kind of person are you. Also, under the background investigation, no, information like personal references may be asked. Pwede pong school records or previous employment record para ma-verify ng company na ang imong gipang-ingon ba during interview are really true. No, or makasupplement pud ni siya sa imuhang pag-apply. No, kung unsa ba kang klase nga tao, buutan ba ka or maayo ba ka nga tao, then they will know because it's very harmful to get bad people in the company. Then we have the final interview. So sa final interview, usually naga-conduct ani are persons in higher authority or katong mga nasa higher positions na. Usually, gina-ask na nila diri unsa ka ready to do the job. If you are ready to do the job, willing ba ka ani na mga scenarios, ani nga mga instances, let's say i-deploy ka na mo sa layo nga mga trabahoon, willing ba ka mo adto ani, willing ba ka mo accept, nya mo ni amo ang rate para sa imuha, willing ba ka mo dawat. Usually, diri na siya nga mga time, no, sa final interview. And 7th is the selection decision. So, typo error ni siya. The 7th one is the selection decision. Where, sa selection decision, so, make or break na po ni siya. No? After final interview, kung matubag to ni Mugtarong, then in the selection decision, positive na siya. You will get the job. But if not, wala ni mo napasa, wala ni mo matubag tarong sa final interview, then you will not get the job. But, positively, if you will get the job, then you can proceed to the 8th process, 8 na siya class, physical examination. So, it determines if the applicant qualifies for the physical requirement of the position and to discover any medical limitations that should be taken into account in placing the applicant. I just wanted to share, I had a student before where he shared to me na nag-apply siya sa isa ka big company. So, napasa na niya tanan. Naagi na niya ang employment interview, employment testing, nagkaroon na po siya background investigation, appeal sa final interview, where na-feel niya madawat na gyud siya. Pero, pag abot sa physical examination, nakita na high blood siya, napatoy mga other complications nga na-discover during sa medical exam niya. So, sadly, wala gyud niya nakuha ang job. So, first things first gyud, we need to be healthy, no? Pag mga apply tag job. But not only na mga apply tag job, as early as now, we need to make sure that we have proper diet, we need to take care of our body gyud. Then, lastly, the ninth process, ito, is the final employment decision or the placement. So when we say placement, this is the decision to accept or reject the applicant. Now, based on the results of the physical examination and value judgment based on the information gathered in the previous steps. Or, when we say placement, this is actually the final decision nga buhaton sa company. So if you pass all these things, then congratulations, you get the job. So that is the process of the selection or employee selection. Now, if you want to read more of this lesson, you may refer to the book of Corpus, the Human Resource Management. Publisher is the Rex Bookstore, Manila, Philippines. Thank you so much for listening to our discussion, and God bless.